And the same thing happens related to thinking and behavior change, not only in the Andes in South America. I have seen that happen in Russia, in Israel, Nordic countries, here in Europe. There are patterns of thinking that we hold on and we cannot see out of that box. And therefore, we cannot prevent the damage that we're actually building ourselves. A friend of mine used to say a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, we keep a way of thinking and being and doing things that it's creating a problem that we ourselves don't see. But as a traveler, you can see that. You have seen that happening in many other places. And when you come to a new location and say, hey, look, you're creating that problem for your future, they look at you and say, no, we don't see that. Okay. That's where the conversation ends. But I think travelers can become very annoying, trying to point out, hey, look at this, and local people say, oh, come on, I mean, my life is nice. I don't need to be worried about that, right? There are people doesn't see that with that urgency, and travelers are concerned. Yeah, well, that's one of the things that could happen. But sustainability is certainly a great topic, and I think today to combine sustainability with entrepreneurship to create a positive impact combined with business is one of the greatest alternatives. And we can, as travelers, make the conscious choice to bring innovation, knowledge, entrepreneurship to different locations and contribute with the growth of the location and support with knowledge and experience transfer to the local people so that they can use their own cultural views and their own limitations to go on their own path to solve their own problems. Because we know it doesn't matter how much we're going to repeat the same story, what we see. The important thing is what they see is important for themselves. So we need to start always on what are the needs, the urgencies that the local people see for their own location, and try to help them to do something about it, right? But it doesn't work all the time in the way you want. Right? And some people don't believe that they have challenges to face and they would like you to help them paint the walls of the house. Probably you can do something better with your time, right? I remember nonprofit organizations organizing volunteer programs, and saying, well, what we're going to use travelers for, these volunteers. Oh, let's paint this wall. Let's move these stones from this place to the other one, just to give you something to do. And they were asking engineers and very technical people, that have knowledge and skills that they actually needed in tasks that were not really related to them, So they were wasting opportunities. But they had a volunteer program, for which the volunteers will pay money to participate and contribute with location. But there was not a really good match between the individual DNA of the volunteer and the urgencies of the location. And local people didn't get it. So today, for example, if I'm on location in Europe and I want to contribute with what I know, probably European people would look at me and say, hey, you're coming from South America, you're living so much time here in Europe and there, but we don't need that type of support. It happened to me already in Switzerland once. I remember arriving to Switzerland around the year 2003 for a third time and talking with these people and say, look, guys, I have learned so much in Latin America, and I really would like to teach you this, And they asked me, okay, what did you do? And I talk about a nonprofit organization, sustainability, and traveling. Say, well, yeah, that's very nice, but all of that activities make sense in South America because, they're development countries. Here in Switzerland, we don't need that. And I say, well, probably you do need something that I can share with you. I say, well, what can you do? I say, okay. They gave me a challenge. I have to run a business from zero, from scratch, and demonstrate that the methodology, the system I was using for business would work. Because they believe that everything I learned in sustainability and living abroad traveling was not necessary when you live in a location, and not in Switzerland where you have people that is so well educated and experienced making money. So I took the challenge, and they offered me, if I win the challenge, they will give more attention. So I started with a minimum budget one more time. I had 50 Swiss francs. And with 50 Swiss francs, I created a new business dedicated to travel, culture, and educational languages. Within 6 months, I was earning about 5,000 to 6,000 Swiss francs, per month. So it's a short time span. Obviously, it was running up the business was very good. And Switzerland had very special conditions, and I was lucky with the first customers I had, and I was bootstrapping. So I started with almost zero capital. 50 Swiss francs was for nothing good. But I did demonstrate that some skills, a system, some methodology can help you to start a business from scratch and make it successful within a short period of time. Obviously, you need certain, good conditions. But because I did so, they started giving attention to me, and then could talk with some people about designing technology for them, right? It's strange, right? So I had to first demonstrate, okay, these ideas work. They say, oh yeah, well, you think it through. Now tell me about the technology, So things happen like that. And I probably, for travelers that enjoy from a new location that they visit, for example, European going to Asia, to Africa, or to South America. For one side, they will say, okay, you're coming from Europe. Welcome, tell us what you know. But from the other side, they think, yeah, you're European. You have no idea about how local things are working, how to do things locally. But then it's a challenge for both sides, to listen to each other, to learn from each other, and to see the best that they can do together, and to don't waste time. And sometimes you have these barriers, I don't need that, I know better. And then there's a mismatch in communication, while actually there is a match between resources and needs and knowledge and opportunities. That's something both sides need to learn a lot from each other. And I think that's the key for sustainability when you think about that globally today, how to match collaboration.
Yeah, definitely.